What if you could spot dangerous men on dating apps? And you could weed out a lot of Mr. Wrongs too. The Burned Haystack Dating Method claims to do just that. And the method isn't just for dating, you can use it for other areas of your life too. Have you heard about the Burned Haystack Dating Method? After watching an interview about spotting dangerous men on dating apps and digging into the best-selling book behind the movement, we found insights that could save you time, heartache, and possibly even protect you from harm. While we don't share the author's worldview, we do believe that there are valuable lessons here for women navigating today's dating landscape. Join us as we discuss practical ways to identify red flags, protect your heart, and approach online dating with wisdom, discernment, and confidence. Welcome to the Jesus People Sisterhood podcast, a place created just for you, the single Christian woman over 50 who knows there is still so much more ahead. I'm your host, Janine Jordan, Christian confidence coach and leadership mentor based in Alberta, Canada.
And I'm your co-host, Ellie McCormick, a flag certified coach, Christian longevity coach, and life coach in the United States. And if you've ever felt a little overlooked, a little forgotten, or quietly wondered, God, what does the rest of my life look like from here? We understand because we've been there too. We know what it's like to carry dreams that haven't fully unfolded yet, to navigate the unique challenges of singlehood, and to wrestle with questions about purpose, health, and the future. And honestly, we couldn't find a space online that truly spoke to us, so we created one.
This is Jesus People Sisterhood, a place where you are not invisible, you are valuable. Where you are not past your prime, you are stepping into one of the most powerful, meaningful seasons of your life.
Here you'll find real conversations, deep encouragement, and a circle of women who love Jesus and are walking this road right alongside you. Because you carry wisdom, you carry strength, and your life still holds incredible purpose.
So join us as we talk about what really matters. Building meaningful relationships, strengthening your health, and growing deeper in your walk with God. And we share tons of valuable information relevant to our sisterhood. We'll share stories, explore life-giving ideas, hear inspiring voices, and yes, have a few laughs along the way. So wherever you're listening from, whether you're in your kitchen or on a walk or sitting in that quiet place, just know you belong here. And let's walk this journey together.
Welcome, sisters, back to the Jesus People Sisterhood podcast. We're so glad to be with our listeners again, and we're apologetic that our hiatus was longer than we expected. We had a
Yes.
longer pause, but Janine and I have both been busy. It was good in a lot of ways to have a break, but we're glad to be back, and we're thankful for all our listeners. We thank all of you. We hope that you're going to like some of the upcoming episodes. What have you been doing, Janine, since
Well, let me tell you, first of all, I'm just so glad to be back as well. And it's just a pleasure to be here. I think that having a little bit of a break certainly was refreshing, but now we want to get back at it and bring you some good content as we said that we would. And so I think, what have I been doing? That was the question, right, Ellie? What have I been doing? Well, as some of you may or may not know, I work in education, and so I've been busy doing that. I am a principal and I do some teaching as well. And so coming toward the end of the year, and yeah, just it was busy. It was still busy. Although I was on a hiatus from the podcast, I was continuing to work, and I would like to also get back to doing some more work on my own business for coaching and things
Mhm.
like that. So that's sort of in the future, working
Mhm.
towards some goals there. But visiting my grandson, Frankie,
Mm.
my goodness, that is, oh, children are such a blessing of the Lord, that's for sure. And what else? Living in Canada has all kinds of things. I think I was explaining to you. The weather's been interesting here for a while. We've had unusual weather patterns, and so just doing some repairs around the house and trying to get some things in order as we move into summer, or hopefully what will be summer. So, what about you, Ellie? What have you been doing?
Well, real busy too, working on my business also. So hopefully I'm going to have stuff on the Jesus People Sisterhood podcast. I'll be doing an episode on, which I've been promising for a while, on Fast Like a Girl. And
Right.
I'm excited. I'm going to be rolling out a 6-week course for natural GLP-1. And I'll talk a little bit about it in the Fast Like a Girl episode. So that'll be coming up. I got to go visit Dr. Josh Axe and Jordan Rubin's farm near Nashville. And I got to go with one of our Jesus People sisters. And she's also in our Atomic Habits book study. So that was kind of fun. It's a natural farm, it's a sustainable farm where they're working on the soil. They had water buffalo. It was really, all I could think of was the Veggie Tale song that my kids and I used to sing and tease each other about everybody's got a water buffalo, right?
Mhm.
So that was
Yeah.
fun, and it was good to meet Jordan and Josh.
Hmm.
And we are going to do an episode on the Biblio Diet book that they wrote together. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, sounds fascinating. Very excited about your course and really excited about the new things that you're going to bring to the podcast to share with our ladies out there to become healthier and happier and strive for those kind of goals. So I think that that's pretty exciting news, Ellie. And we also, at least I'm going to do some research about better communication skills and speaking skills. Very excited about doing that. And I'm looking at an episode for, just taking control of your emotions and
Hmm.
understanding them. And perhaps there's some of you deep feelers out there. So I'm just taking a look at a book right now that I think will make a great episode. And maybe some leadership things for those lovely ladies over 50 who are find themselves in positions where it's a different world out there now, and leadership isn't quite the same as it was 20, 30 years ago, even a decade ago. And so just bringing some things for those ladies who are in positions of authority and probably things that'll be
Hmm.
useful for anyone that's thinking about doing that, or like I said, are already there in that season of life. But again, just so great to be back. And we have been blessed, just so blessed, blessed beyond measure that we could take that break and come back. We've been thinking about you. We want you to know that. We've been really thinking about you, thinking about what we can bring to your lives to enrich them and to encourage you, to encourage all of our sisters in community and to continue on doing what we're doing and hopefully having you find some sort of interest in it, maybe some good skills and knowledge just for you, our sisters out there. Yeah, we love you and we certainly want to do that. So,
And we've got some hopefully very interesting episodes for you coming up.
yeah.
We would really like your input. We have someone who's coming on. She's a podcaster who's going to talk about skincare. And we'd like you to write in any of your questions that you have about skincare so
Mhm.
we can ask her in the interview. That's going to be coming up really quick. So when you hear this, write your question, send your question right away. You can
Send
either
them
just
in.
post it on the Facebook site. If you're in the private Facebook community, you can post it there, or you can send it to support@jesuspeoplesisterhood.com.
Right. Mhm.
What other episodes we got coming up?
Well, what do we do this time of year? Everybody's sort of getting ready to go.
Hmm.
I don't want to give it away. I'm trying not to give it away, but we have a travel episode that is coming up pretty exciting. We met a lovely lady who shared with us some very interesting things, all kinds of things, and we hope that that'll be very informative for you, especially in this time of year when so many people travel. I think it's going to be very encouraging for those ladies to maybe get out there and do something if you don't have a friend or a companion, but just like to get out in the world and do some things and not just sit around and waste your life and get off the couch and go, right? So, yeah. So, what about that? Anything else, Ellie? What else?
Well, what do you have to say about today's episode?
You know,
It's a
well,
two-parter.
the two-parter, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the dating thing. Well, we know that this topic is very, very popular with our ladies. It's usually the top one that we have. And so we have some more information for you, sisters. I think you're really going to like the episode, and it's certainly going to cast some new knowledge in that area, perhaps for you. But Ellie, you and I are happily single. And so it, in some ways, for me, it just helped sort of cement my decision to remain single for a while. And I don't know how do you feel about it? I'm putting it right back on you to
Yeah,
start.
well, I have not.
Yeah.
I've been happy where I'm at.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, yeah. But I don't want
Hmm.
any sisters that are looking for somebody to feel shamed at all. And
No.
at the same time, I also want any of our sisters who they look at the episode subject and say it's dating and then turn it off because they're not interested, you
Right.
could still learn stuff.
Hmm.
So I hope you don't just switch off and not
Hmm.
listen to these episodes because you can still learn a lot. And
Hmm.
you can not only about, in this case, just how people communicate what they're really saying in
Right.
the Burned Haystack method,
Hmm.
but also just that you could be a help to your friends because
Right.
you may not be interested in finding a mate, but I bet you're going to have other friends, some other sisters, Jesus sisters over
Mhm.
50
Yeah.
that are interested in that, and you can be a help to them by listening to these episodes. So
That's right. And I think that, Ellie does bring up in the episode, which you'll hear shortly, but that, we are most concerned with the safety of our sisters, and we're most concerned with you having the knowledge that you need to make some good decisions. And so we think that this episode is certainly worthwhile, and we do hope that you glean a lot of information and enjoy parts of it too. I think, yeah. So,
I do want to also say that we don't give general advice about being safe online. This is
mm-mm,
only about the burned haystack method and how that can keep you safe.
mhm.
So this is not a full rundown of being safe online.
No, no, that's
Maybe
right.
we'll have to do another episode on that.
That's right. That's right. No, I think the most important thing is that we are trying to get information out there to you that may be of value to you. And then you have to use your own discernment, always your own discernment as to what you're going to use or throw out,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
we love you, sisters,
Mm.
and we'll get to today's episode. God bless.
Yes.
Welcome, sisters, to this episode of the Jesus People Sisterhood podcast, the only podcast specifically for single Christian women over 50. Today, we give a shout out to our sisters in New Hampshire. Thank you for listening. We want everyone to get to know our listeners, and so we'll be doing listener spotlight episodes from time to time. If you would like to share your testimony or what the Lord is doing in your life currently, or if you are leading in ministry or another field and would like to tell us about that for Jesus Sister Excelling in the last third episode, please contact us at support@jesuspeoplesisterhood.com. We would love to have our listeners come and share with the sisterhood. And now, let's get to today's episode.
It's a blessing to provide this podcast for free, but it does cost us to produce Jesus People Sisterhood episodes. So it would be a great blessing to us that if you decide to buy a book mentioned in this podcast, you purchase it through the link in our episode show notes.
This episode is based on a YouTube video we came across titled The Secret Skill to Spot Dangerous Men on Dating Apps. on Carrie McAvoy's PhD's channel.
Ooh.
Now, I'm all about keeping my sister safe, and when I saw the title like that, I had to check it out. So let me say at the outset, though, that the two women featured in this video, Carrie McAvoy and Jenny Young,
Mm,
are not believers. At least as far as I could tell, I would say they are not believers. And in listening to the video and later in reading Jenny Young's book, we realize that we have very different worldviews.
mm,
However, we felt that some of what was shared can be very helpful to our sisters who use dating apps and maybe even life-saving.
mhm. Now, we know many of our Jesus People sisters are looking for a life partner, and that often means getting on those dating apps. We've all probably heard complaints and even horror stories about online dating, probably many. But today, we hope to have some helpful guidance that can hopefully make the experience safer, less hurtful, and at the very least, less time wasting.
The video was an interview with Jenny Young, the creator of the Burned Haystack Dating Method. We'll be discussing the video content as well as Jenny Young's book that recently came out entitled Burn the Haystack, Decode Dating, Torch the Duds, and Make Room for Men Who Matter. Jenny
Okay.
Young is a college professor with a PhD in rhetoric and discourse.
Jenny Young explains how she came up with the method. As an older single woman, she began looking for that monogamous long term partner on dating apps. Like many women in a short period of time, her bad experiences multiplied and she felt demoralized. At first, she thought there was something wrong with her. She would try the apps for a week or two, then quit. And this happened several times. It was in Jenny's frustration with the apps that late one night she Googled how to find a needle in a haystack. And the answer was set that haystack on fire. Because if you do that, you burn off all the hay and the metal needle will be left. Interesting, huh?
Jenny realized that she didn't seem to have the same problem communicating with people in other aspects of her life. So, why was she finding it so difficult on dating apps? She also found that other women were having the exact bad experiences down to the same words and phrases. Well, Jenny's specialty is critical discourse analysis, and that teaches you to read people's language in a way that reveals to you things they don't want you to know. So, in attempting to solve her own problem, the burned haystack method was born. By learning what someone's words and phrases are coded to reveal, you can protect yourself from all the hay out there on the apps. So Jenny started to analyze what men were writing and their behavior on dating apps. She eventually started a Facebook group that has grown to 250,000 followers.
Carrie and Jenny say that the burned haystack method can also apply to all conversations, not just dating. They give an example of job postings. The way a job is described can tell you a lot about the position and the employer. If a job post says that they're looking for a team player that pitches in and isn't looking for credit, this probably implies that you won't see fair compensation or opportunity to move up in the job, something you may not necessarily have thought of when you actually read it in the first place.
Yeah.
Carrie shared about her ex spouse, who she met on a dating app. She thought he was very transparent by stating up front what he was looking for. He listed in his profile his 5 non-negotiables. By directly stating what he wanted in a relationship, Carrie was led to believe that he was honest and the type of guy that she would want to be with. Unfortunately, Carrie eventually found out that that same man was also very dangerous, someone that she even believes tried to kill her. Jenny shared how Carrie's ex exhibited the disciplinary directive rhetorical pattern. Basically, he decided to use the limited space for his profile, which he should have used to share about himself, to boss women around. Another example would be when a man says, "Hey, shoot me your number. Let's give this thing a try." His flippant behavior, although it may first seem very friendly, can be something that we haven't maybe taken into consideration because we just don't know about the rules.
Yeah. when he's telling you what to do.
Mhm.
Both women said they didn't want to be alarmist, but we should be concerned when we look at the statistics for violence against women. Jenny stated that dating apps give bad guys access to way more people, and there's no one to warn the woman on a dating app. Off the apps, your friends, your coworkers, your family may know the person you're considering dating and warn you off. Or you might meet people that that know him. But
Right.
on the dating apps, you have no idea who the person is or how they're going to behave in daily life. And dating profiles are curated portrayals, they're not real life. Let's be honest, even knowing someone in real life is no guarantee. So dating apps are really the Wild West. And Carrie said that there are a lot of hunters on the apps and they're looking for prey. Sisters, we really want to keep you as safe as possible.
Mhm.
According to Jenny, a lot of Burned Haystack is about protecting women from abuse. Not all of it. Yes, you want to find your needle, but there are dangerous men out there, and a first priority is to be safe.
Both Jenny and Carrie shared stories of friends who had met up with a man on the apps and were assaulted. One was able to keep her wits about her and escape. However, the other ended up in the hospital. So, to elaborate more on being safe, the most important things to watch for are any form of direction or objectification. Is the guy assuming authority over you in any way? Is he leading his communication with you using words like, you're so beautiful before he's met you? That is objectification. He is just trying to flatter you, basically. And when the man presents himself as the prize, saying things like, I have a full life, but will make time for the right woman. This is positioning himself as the prize to be obtained. He's the one that's worth it all. And as you can imagine, that sounds very much like a narcissist, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We tend to project the best on people, especially as Christians and as women. We want to give people the benefit of the doubt. We want to believe that, hey, we should give people a chance. But this is not the Burned Haystack method. Jenny came up with 33 rhetorical patterns that reveal what men are really telling you about themselves. And these patterns, these messages, have proven true by the experience of thousands and thousands of women that are in the Burned Haystack Facebook group.
Wow.
We want to give someone a chance when really we need to realize that it's not a slip. What a man says reveals his nature.
Hmm. Jenny has been asked if this method is too strict. Hey, could it lead to missing out on that needle? Jenny says that that is a possibility, but she would rather take that chance than end up with a bad guy, wouldn't we all? Assault happens way too often. So, what are some things that we can be aware of? Jenny has categorized these into the 33 rhetorical patterns in her book using real life examples. And Jenny says that despite the number, you can in turn internalize these patterns quickly. So, one of those patterns is conditional decency. Here, the man's language reveals that you need to do certain things for the man in order for him to treat you like a human being. It's very transactional. He says, hey, I'll treat you like a queen, when you treat me like a king. We created the JPS space because we know how it feels to face life and the future on your own. And we also know that something better is possible within a community of like minded sisters. If today's episode is blessing you, would you take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast right where you're listening?
That way, every new conversation, every encouragement, every reminder that you're not alone comes straight to you. And if you feel led, leaving a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts is one of the most powerful ways to help other women just like you find this space. You are not alone anymore. You've found your sisterhood.
Hmm. Another is test and apologize. A man will send something usually sexual in nature and then immediately apologize, usually before the woman has even had a chance to respond. And this pattern is about violating boundaries. And boundary violation is a hallmark sign of abuse.
Yeah, this one is very problematic.
Hmm.
And I had watched this show on Netflix. It was probably like over a year ago because I don't even have access to Netflix now. And it was called Later Daters. And in this show, it was like a reality show, for older people who were dating.
Yeah.
And there was this one woman, there was several people that they were following, and I guess they had a dating coach who was helping them and setting them up on these dates. And
Okay.
this one woman, she was older. She, I think, had been married, and I think her husband passed away, and she had been a widow for some time. And guess she finally decided to start dating. She was pretty well off. She had a house on a lake with a boat, and she had a pretty good life. And so they show her on her first date. She tells, I guess, her coach that she doesn't want to date a man who has minor children. And I guess I understand because in a way it's like she's got to be at least in her 50s and she might have been in her 60s, where you wonder why somebody at that age still has minor children. That was me, so it's not like I'm saying bad things about people, but you wonder if the man was married to a much younger woman and got divorced. So she didn't want to date the first guy because he had minor children, and then they set her up with a second guy, and he had minor children too.
Right.
So she wasn't happy about that, but she got along with this guy, and they went on several dates, and she enjoyed him. She thought he was a lot of fun, but then she decided, hey, I should meet somebody else because this guy has minor children. So she goes on a third date. It's a guy who's pretty well off too, no minor children, but I think there's no spark there. So she decides to go back with the second guy that she liked.
Okay.
And there's a scene where they're riding in a car.
Hmm.
I think they're riding in a car. And the guy's talking to her and saying how beautiful she is and how he can't keep his eyes off of her, and that so much so that if they were in a threesome, he wouldn't look at the other person. He would just couldn't keep his eyes off of her.
Wow.
And I'm
Wow.
thinking, what? And she doesn't say anything. And who knows? I mean, it's a TV show. They cut off. I don't know if something came up after that, but it ended with that she was going to date this guy. And I just thought that when Jenny brought up the whole test and apologized, I'm like, that's it. There's an
Hmm.
example there. The guy brought up a threesome. Why would you ever say that to this woman? And she didn't respond. But that's test and apologize. It's like, what are you telling her about yourself?
Right.
And it's
Right.
really, it's just a form of grooming.
Hmm.
So it's kind
Hmm.
of like, well, is this guy, if he says that and she doesn't say anything,
There
then
you go.
hey, I can, what
Hmm.
else can I say? And maybe I can get her to do something like that.
Right. Right.
And
It's
and
so out of the
especially
blue.
I
Yeah.
I know for me, and I'm sure there's a lot of other women out there too, especially as Christians, we go out on a date and the guy's supposed to be a Christian and they say something and you're like, did I really just hear him say that? Did he really just say that? We don't,
Yeah.
we're kind of like in shock because we're not expecting that. And this is like a hallmark sign of abuse. Totally agree with Jenny on that. So it's
Hmm.
something to watch out for. And you don't just write it off and say, oh, he slipped or
Hmm.
he's really a nice guy because he apologized right after. No,
Hmm.
no, no. You're gonna block that guy.
Right. He right there, revealed himself to you, and now's the time to cut out. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give him an out on that.
Yeah.
So the video is about 30 minutes long, and you can find a link in the show notes. And I wanted to find out more about this dating method. So I listened to the book on Spotify because I just thought this whole idea of, wow, you could analyze what men write on dating apps and you could spare yourself wasted time and maybe some really bad guys out there.
Hmm.
So I wanted to read the book to see what other information I could get. There's another story I wanted to share is that I had a friend who, and this is going back over 10 years ago. She is now married. She did meet somebody and she got married. And at the time she was about 60.
Okay.
And she was a very attractive older woman. But she did meet a lot of people on online dating apps, and she did tell me a story about a man. There were some men that wrote back to her, and I could just tell from what they were writing. I'm like, I'm not sure you should see this guy.
Right.
There was one guy who kept wanting to meet her or something, and she said she did something where she had some kind of trick where she made it so that the guy had to do something before she would actually meet them. I don't remember what it is now. But this guy kept writing her, and she got a message from somebody who went out with him, and she told my friend that this guy was just trying to find women to sleep with. And so
Oh,
she had done the right thing in not going out with him. And he was coming off as a Christian man. And I think that's pretty common. It's a tough world out there for a
right.
Christian woman.
Hmm.
All right. So anyway, I have to say, I did listen to the book on Spotify. It was very difficult to get through. The author, Jenny Young, states that in the book, she isn't moralizing. But I found her book to be anti-Christian, anti-conservative, and in many ways, anti-men. Because her viewpoint was very skewed to the left, and she repeatedly politicized the subject. And this was completely unnecessary, and it was a real turnoff. However, I forced myself to listen to the book because despite Ms. Young's politicizing the subject of dating, again, completely unnecessary, she
Hmm.
still shared valuable insights that could benefit Christian women pursuing online dating. Bottom line, I really want my sister to be safe. And we want to share here some of the information I gleaned from the book that could save some of you sisters time, heartache, and possibly physical harm.
But before we get to some of the information shared in the book, you may be wondering if Jenny has had any success with her own dating method. According to Jenny, she did meet a needle and she was in a relationship for 2 years. They did eventually part ways, but remain friends. And Jenny says that she still considers this man a needle, just not her needle.
Right. And as of the information we have right now, she's not with
Mhm.
anybody. She's just busy writing and doing her burned haystack method stuff.
Right.
But honestly, my personal opinion is that Jenny is looking in the wrong haystack. Why? Because she discounts all conservative men as hay while looking for this monogamous, long-term heterosexual relationship that is a traditional conservative relationship.
Mm,
But she's looking for this kind of relationship that a man with traditional values would want, while eschewing all the men who would actually have those values.
right.
So if she were to find a liberal man who had these traditional values, and she claims she did find someone for a time, who's to say he wouldn't change at a whim, since these values aren't tied to any moral or spiritual convictions. They are just arbitrary.
Hmm.
Just my thoughts.
Okay. So, generally, the most common advice you'll find for dating apps is to make yourself as widely appealing as possible to as many men as possible and to give almost everyone a chance because it's a numbers game. So, the more the merrier, at least you'll have more choice. But the burned haystack method tells you exactly the opposite. According to the burned haystack method, you should present yourself exactly as you are and you should give almost no one a chance if there's something that doesn't appear to be right. So right away, get rid of them. Hey, sisters, for the sake of time, we're stopping the recording here. We'll pick up where we left off next week.
Hey, sister, before you go, thank you for being here with us. If you were encouraged by today's episode, would you take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast? That way, every new episode finds you right where you are. And if you feel led, leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts helps more women just like you discover this sisterhood. We would love for you to come join us in our free private Facebook group, the Jesus People Sisterhood Community, and keep the connection going.
And we also have a Jesus People Sisterhood senior housing group if you're exploring co-living and new possibilities for this season. You can connect with us at Jesus People Sisterhood on Facebook, or visit us individually for Janine at riseupcoachingandconsulting.com and for Ellie at christianlongevity.com. And just a quick reminder, this podcast is for informational purposes and not professional advice. Our prayer is that this podcast blesses you. Until next time, stay connected, reach out, and welcome another sister in.